That's restricted, okay? And unfortunately, I want to see you ASAP to 8 to 5. Remember.
Awesome. It's gonna be difficult. What's gonna Here in Aspen, Philip O'Bui, Pablo Urba, Happy Coco Gallagher, Elizabeth Kayla, Chucky Dolly, Miami Coughlin, Elizabeth Kayla, Donald Dinner, Kahira, Kula Humney, Carla Bennett, Elizabeth Kayla, Marion, Vanna Shannon, Crabsheet, Frona Malaysia, Lutheran Koidalu, Donald Morricone, Lutheran Commodore Cascade, Shannon McPay, Ellis Muncher, Commodore Cascade in the Hall. There's some more than the Fundy, but why down far in the Padcha, the gold of Iron at and shot, it's lost in the match. When he has started, shot the Commodore Cascade as the Fundy. The Zulu over one you got in you, happening, is the end of the road. As I said, I wish to welcome you all here tonight for this special night from Commodore Cascade in the Hall. This County Annual Awards Banquet and Hall of Fame. To those I mentioned, we are grateful for them for their attendance, and also to all our award winners whom we are honouring here tonight. First of all, before we proceed, I'd like to thank, on behalf of everyone here, the management and staff of the Abbey Hotel for preparing such a lovely meeting for us. Thank you very much. And also, I'd like to take this occasion to thank the Abbey Hotel Group and the White Group in particular for sponsoring our county teams for the past year. And I'm pleased to announce that during the last week we reached an agreement for a further 2-year sponsorship with the Hotel Group, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you very much. We have a number of presentations to do, as you know, so we'll carry on. The first presentation is our annual awards. I'd like to ask our Ulster Council delegate Tom Daly to make the first presentation. There's Tom there. The first award to be presented tonight is the Grounds Award. This year's Grounds Award goes to a club who have done tremendous work in the facilities in the past year, which ended in the official opening of the pitch in May of last year with Donegal versus Mayo in a challenge match. There was a covered stand, 4 dressing rooms, press facilities, electronic scoreboard. A great achievement for such a small club. The award goes to Donegal GAA Club. Will be accepted by the chairman from the right. Next award is presented by County Board Assistant Treasurer Brendan Kelly. Brendan there. Next award is this year's Camogie Award. The award winner this year is a member of the St. Unions Club. She has won medals in all grades to the ranks, which include Senior League and Championship with both St. Unions and her former club, the Clonkill. She is also a keen handballer. And the winner, very deserving winner of this award, is Lisa Doran of St. Unions. Congratulations. I'd like to ask our County Youth Officer Mcgowan to present the next award. The next award is the Handballer of the Year Award. This year the award is a dual award. It goes to a doubles pairing who created history this year by winning the All-Ireland Under-17 40x20 Championships, defeating such a handballing stronghold as Kilkenny in the process. The winners of the award this year are Nora Stapleton, Nate Murna, and Tracy Floyd from Mcluhan. Well done, Nora. and Tracy Floyd. Well done, Tracy. Well done, girls. Our next award will be presented by our Assistant Secretary and Secretary of the GAC, Mcgowan. The award is for the Referee of the Year award. This year's winner has made a big impression since starting the trade only 6 years ago, and is already on the Ulster referees panel for both minor and under-21 championship games. He also refereed this senior county final this year and done a very good job. The winner this year is Shannon Donald. Well done, Shannon Donald. Our next award will be presented by our county PRO, Paddy Mullins. This award is the Ladies Player of the Year award. This year's winner is winning the award for the second time, the first time in 1995. She's been Donegal's top scorer for the past number of years and flew home to New York this year for each of the county's Ulster Championship matches. Still working in New York at the moment, the award will be accepted by our mother Evelyn. The winner of the award is Denise Dunyan of 4 Masters. I'd like to ask Evelyn up to present on her behalf. Well done, thank you very much. Our next award will be presented by Kester Company, Charlie O'Donnell. This award is a communications award. This award is given every year to somebody who has done a huge amount of work in communicating with the media or either club or county or divisional board. This year's winner is the PRO of the Irish Club. During the past year, she has produced a colour programme for the club's first round championship match, as well as being responsible for producing Colour Club Yearbook at the end of the year and numerous other initiatives. It's a big night for her because it's her first night with her new surname winning the award. Our award winner is Mary Kelly from Ireland. Hello, Mary. Our next award was presented by the Hurling Board Secretary on Cole, and is of course the Hurler of the Year. This man is one of the county's most accomplished dedicated hurlers for a number of years. He's been working in Dublin for a while now, but that didn't lessen his commitment to the county team where his club worked, travelling down for all of the goals and actually league hurling matches. Compounding today, this man had his 4 tires stolen in Dublin and didn't get leaving Dublin to 6 o'clock this evening. It shows the character of the man involved. He also was responsible in part for the publication of the Word Club History Against the Grain, which is sold out of all his editions to date. I'd like to congratulate Mcluhan Campbell of Word, Hurler of the Year. Next award is presented by the Donegal Chairman, Mcgowan. This award is the Footballer of the Year award. The award winner this year in the football category has received numerous accolades for his performances during the year, and one of which is county captain for the coming season. And I've known this lad from a very young player. Most of those who know him well would know that he sleeps in the car, going to the game, and he sleeps in the car, coming from the game. Sometimes when once he even forgot that he was driving the car when it happened. But never to sleep on the field once the game starts. This man is a deserving winner of the award. Damien Devereux. Next award will be presented by the Donegal and this award is the Club of the Year award. You can't say too much about this one for fear of being accused of being biased. Winning the award for the first time, Mcluhan GAA Dinner Dance. Club of the Year. Presented by the Club Chairman, Mcluhan. Well done with Donegal GAA Club. The next award is one of the most important awards that we present here tonight. And only the second year, the Overseas Award honours a person who has given a huge amount of their time abroad looking after those involved in GAA in this county who have gone overseas in search of employment. Tonight's recipient has since 1969 been the key mover in the marvellous progress of Mcgowan Gaels Club in London, from a struggling junior outfit to the strong senior force that it is today. Many people have benefited from this man's generosity and hospitality, and that is more like the large number of people who have travelled from London tonight for this function. A friend of his told me earlier about one occasion that this man had his car packed to the roof with players on his way to a match in New Eltham. He was stopped on the way by a policeman and asked where he was going with such a big load. The driver replied, to a football match. The policeman asked, how many aside was it? He says, 15 aside. The policeman then asked, where were the rest of the players? And Paddy Burke replied, they're coming behind me in a pushback. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask our Development Officer Mcgowan, a former Mcluhan Gaels man himself, to present this award. And tonight, on behalf of all those people that this man has helped, and for the GAA in general in Donegal, we're delighted to welcome home Paddy Burke and present him with the Overseas Award tonight. gentlemen, Paddy Burke. Well done. The driver one, the runner of English, was waiting here, Ruthven Cordalu, Donald Murphy, Chatham Shaws, and Bradley Young. The driver shot about a fire over Murphy in the Gilly over the Fundy, and faced the Hembley in the Lewis. It was a star over Janta, a cruising culture of Chandler. It was more than true, but he as the first, in goal for Blainfield or Royal Shield, but Vincent Ollie who he had. So much fear we the Seamus to Fleetcheck. David by the Hamish. Right from Hamish. The minute next call on the equipment for the other Danny Murphy, say a few words.
Cahill Conte, Victor on coming to Australia. Here to ask bigger was a courage. Ta agus more and be a shot not. Pala and Iha star of the shot. I am delighted to be here on an historic occasion when Donegal honours so many famous footballers and administrators, and I'm particularly delighted on a night like this to be associated with the award to Seamus to Fleetcheck. Seamus has given outstanding service to our association, to this county and to the province of Ulster, and the Ulster Council will always be indebted to Seamus for the work that he does on behalf of the promotion of our language. And for that, Seamus, on behalf of all of the Gaels in Ulster, and I know that by an association here tonight with the people of Donegal, we thank you for what work you have done, and know that you will continue to serve our association well also into the future. I was thinking to myself there, it's not a bad year for a chairman to be from Ardara. He certainly would have a fair smile on his face when he was handing over the county final anyhow. But congratulations to all the award winners, and on a night like this, I would just like to say that the Millennium team proves how difficult a job it is to be a team manager, and the team has some outstanding players from the modern era and from bygone days, and all of them are great players. And I can assure you there's probably a few people will say we could have picked another team which had as many great players on it. So when you look at it, picking of teams sometimes can be seen to be controversial, but in this case it has brought back to mind all the great players that represented the clubs and the county of Donegal over the whole life of the association in this county. And we should always be grateful for the work and the effort and the dedication of the players, and those that have made the Millennium team. I would like to congratulate them and say that every one of them are very deserving recipients of that award. I was glad to see Glen Swilly getting recognised for the work that they have carried out in providing such an excellent playing facility in their club area. I had the privilege of being there for the official opening, and it is a truly remarkable achievement and proves just how great of a motivating force that our association is in the communities that we strive to serve. I would congratulate Glen Swilly for what they have achieved, and I would also, in mentioning the grounds, pay tribute to Kilcar, who also got an award from Corla Ulla in their judgments of grounds throughout Ulster for the Millennium Year. I would like also at this stage to, I'm coming to the end of one job and starting off on a road, God knows where, and I would like at this stage to thank all of the association in County Donegal for the kindness, hospitality and the support that they gave me during my term as President of the Ulster Council. I enjoyed every minute of it. I had many great occasions being here in Donegal, and I hope to be back many times again in the future. I would like to pay tribute to the officers of the County Board and also to those who represented the county on our Provincial Council. During my term as Chairman, Niall Mcgowan was the most able and capable Chairman of our Coaching Games Development Committee, and for all the hard work that he has done on behalf of the Association in Ulster, I would like to personally thank Niall for all the great work that he has done for the Association in Ulster. Your other delegate has also given sterling service to the Council for a long time. I've worked with him for many a day on the Appeals Committee of the Ulster Council, and that is not a very popular committee, but I can assure you that Tom Bailey has represented the county and the interests of the association with tremendous courtesy and respect and also dedication, and I would like to thank Tom and wish Tom well in what he's achieving in the future. I've also had the privilege of working very closely with the recipient of an award tonight on the Millennium team. Brian McInniff has managed the provincial team throughout the 3 years of my involvement with Ulster as chairman, and I'm referring here to our Railway Cup team. I've seen some mentioned in the media about the time may have come to call a halt to the Railway Cup, but people like Brian McInniff and the players that he has selected over many years to represent the province of Ulster will say this competition is respected and wanted by our players. It brings and affords the best players in the counties to represent their province, and I certainly believe that the time has not come to put an end to the Railway Cup. In fact, I believe the time has come to revitalise the Railway Cup. I was referring to Brian McInniff. I've also known Brian for a long time, and I've had the privilege of serving the last 2 years with him on Cushty-Banishgee. He's been a tremendous representative of his county and the association, and he is the representative of Ulster as well. So on all the work that he is doing, I would like to thank Brian McInniff. I was looking here at the new jersey that is coming on stream for Donegal, and I was thinking to myself, the last time jerseys started changing in Ulster, things started happening in the wider footballing fields, and I just would be a bit worried that Donegal has got themselves into the frame of mind to start making things happen in Ulster. They have Mickey Moran here, given them the assistance that Mickey has a tremendous knowledge and understanding, and I'm quite satisfied that Donegal will make an impact in 2001 and beyond. And I wish the players and the supporters of Donegal a very good year, and I hope that you enjoy every part of it, because whether you win or you don't, the games and the camaraderie of our association in the long term make up for a lot of disappointments, but certainly winning makes it even a bit more special, and I think that the players, by the effort they've made, will ultimately come to success. And with people like Mickey Moran around, I'm quite satisfied it'll be sooner rather than later. I'll finish off by saying that from the 1st of March I'll have a new role in Ulster, and I hope to be working in very close relationships with all of the counties, and anything I can do to assist Donegal or the clubs of Donegal, I will do my best to do that. It's a new challenge for me, and I'm going to give it my best shot, and with everyone's effort I would like to see Ulster at the top of the tree and everything, and Sam Maguire back in the province. Whether it be in the Horns or in the hills of Donegal, we'll not argue that tonight, as long as he's in Ulster. Gura Vida Vida Maya over there.
I wish Danny the very best on behalf of all the Gaels in Donegal in his new position as Secretary of the Ulster Council. Danny will bring credibility and respect to the position that the position deserves. Well done, Danny. Next, we will move on to the main presentation of the night, the Donegal GAA Dinner Dance Millennium Team. I'd like to thank the Donegal Democrat for coming on board with us, with Board and Lundy and jointly sponsoring this initiative, which has prompted a lot of debate in the county over the past few months. I'd like to ask our friend from Mcluhan, Shannon Donald, to come to the stage to make the presentations. I'd like to call on also on the sports editor of the Donegal Democrat, Michael Daly, to come to the stage.
Lordship, Bishop Boyce, President, GAA Sean McCaig, President of Ulster Council Danny Murphy, our County Chairman John, members of Doyle and Shannon, Reverend Fathers, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few words to offer before we get on with the actual presentation, but I promise I will be brief. The one thing that struck me tonight, sitting down at that table with my two brothers Tom and Warwick, and our respective wives, and Peter Campbell, who works with me, and his wife Martha, was I'm absolutely privileged. Nothing to do with the Donegal Democrat or the fact that we are sponsoring, but I'm absolutely privileged, having spent the best part of my life as a son of the late Hugh Daly, to be sitting here tonight in the shadow of greatness and with my boyhood heroes and heroes of my late father and my brothers, and no doubt my mother and my family. That to me is the essence of what is happening here tonight. Look around you to your left and your right. You're sitting in the shadow of greatness, people who are the giants of the GAA. Brief word about selections, as John touched on it, inevitably, they will cause debate, and I would be remiss of me to say that debate is good for newspapers, and this venture has been very, very good for the Donegal Democrat, because whether we like it or not, I think the Millennium Team has been a topic of discussion everywhere, certainly I have been for the last 4 to 5 weeks, and certainly the people who are above me in Trinity Mirror and Donegal Democrat, Donegal People's Press, are quite delighted with the reaction that we have got from being involved with the Millennium Team. So that's the commercial end of it over, just to say we are very happy. And the fact that we got 12,300 votes, I think indicates the choice of the county board to go with the Donegal Democrat, which I think you will agree, some of you might, we are the market leader in terms of Gaelic Games coverage in Donegal, and this year, more so than any year, with our sponsorship of the championship and what we hope to do in 2001, I think we will that again, and we thank you for that. Briefly, I wanted to thank the people who are on the coordinating committee with me, Danny Harkin, John McConnell, Father Sean, and Michael Mcgowan. We had a couple of very good meetings, we sorted things out, but essentially, you the people, the readers of the Donegal Democrat, from New South Wales, we got letters from there, from New York, from Malin and Moville to Maharacar and Bundoran, you were the people who voted, you were the people who had the final say, and we're delighted with that. Now, it's my pleasant duty simply to call on Sean McCaig to present to the various award winners. I have a brief resume as they come to the stage. As I said, I promise I will be brief, and I want to start off with Seamus Hoare, our goalkeeper. career with Donegal spanning 14 years from 1955 to 1965, Seamus was an outstanding servant for Donegal, winning virtually every honour in the game. And you're going to add to that his service to Ulster, winning 4 Railway Cup medals in 64, 65 and 66, and the 4th in 1968. As a sub in 1963, he also picked up a medal. At county level, few honours eluded him. A wonderful goalkeeper, he won Lagan Cup medals 3 years in a row from 1965 to 67. Seamus Hoare is goalkeeper on the team of the century, selected in 1984, and he is our goalkeeper on the Donegal GAA Dinner Dance team of the millennium. Seamus Hoare.
Now I have these resumes down to about 30 or 40 seconds, but this one's going to take a little bit longer. Our right cornerback, the late Hughie Tim Boyle. Before I go into the detail, lovely facts. I want to read it to you word for word as it was received. Quote unquote, sorry, can't be there, happened to be at Old Trafford. Delighted my uncle Hughie Tim was selected in the best Donegal team of the century. Saw him play often, he was a great player. And this is the line that really struck me when you hear who this is from. I got what I had from him. All the Tim family are at the dinner, wish I was with them. I'm still waiting to go back to Croke Park, one of the great days of my life, September 92. Best wishes to all, Paddy Crerand. A few words about the late Hughie Tim, and as I'm going through those, maybe if Mrs. Phyllis Boyle could make her way to the stage and we'll keep things moving. The late Hughie Tim Boyle had a phenomenal vote for the right cornerback position in our team. I suppose it's no surprise really when one recalls a club career which spanned a remarkable 19 years. In 1961 he won the last of an amazing 9 senior championship titles with Quidor. 9 titles. A versatile sportsman, he was also renowned as an amateur boxer, and amongst other awards, including the induction into the GAA Hall of Fame, Hughie was also honoured as a Donegal Person of the Year award winner. As I said, I'm asking Mrs. Phyllis Boyle to come forward, and she's there to accept the award. Very much a case of poacher turned gamekeeper, and I'm looking down at him, he's probably wondering how I figured that one out. This man started off in the forwards, you know, but there was a little bit of tweaking done. He moved into the backs, things started to happen for Donegal in 72 and 74. Porrick has 7 county championship medals with St Joseph's, 1 Ulster medal, and in 1968 was part of the great Joseph's team which won the unofficial All-Ireland Championship title, defeating Dunmore McHale's. A backroom member of the Donegal management team for a number of years, Porrick was also assistant manager of various Ulster Railway Cup winning sides. A famous man as a forward to hit a ball over the bar from 30 yards with the box of the fist. I think he'd make a step and a jump up here. Porrick McShea, our full-back. Where he's from, I think, is Mcgowan, so we'll stick with what the people down there because they know best. So is Barry Mcgowan, the first of 2 Killybegs club men to be selected on this team. Barry is the first of 6 members of the great 92 All-Ireland side who will make their way up here. At senior level again, it was a move to defence, either at wing or cornerback, which saw Barry at his best because he started off in the forwards in 87, the under-21s. Now at club level, he was quite superb. Little surprise then that Killybegs won all before them. I don't think I need to list them out. Certainly in Ballyshannon we won't forget them. He was also Donegal and Ulster Club minor championship titles, an All-Ireland Colleges title with PCC Fulcara, and those 5 club championship medals. After that spells with Hearts and Fanage United, I think it all illustrates the versatility of this man. Barry Mcgowan, our left corner back, will you come forward please? Now we're moving rightly, we're into the half-back line. Most of these resumes are 30 seconds, this one's about 30 minutes. Brian McInniff at right half-back. An all-star, Donegal's first in 72. Brian's CV as both player and manager, it makes for pretty impressive reading. He's now manager of the Irish International Rules team. Brian basically has done it all. But I think in fairness we have to have a wee look. Everybody says they would know a lot of it, but it really is worth looking at. Like Seamus Horan, Hughie Tim, who's also on the 84 centenary team. He's been involved with Donegal County football for over 40 years. He has 2 Ulster Championship medals as a player in 72 and 74, 3 more as you know, a manager in 83 and 1992. 2 Railway Cup medals, but more importantly his name has been synonymous with managing Ulster Railway Cup teams, and I suppose to take on the point that Danny Murphy mentioned, is only when you see it in black and white. Ulster, under his tutelage, have won 10 Railway Cups. Brian has 9 county championship medals, 8 with St Joseph's and the other with Bundoran. Also an unofficial All-Ireland medal, and it rounds off the collection, but the one thing and the obvious thing before he makes his way to the stage, Brian McInniff, manager of Donegal in 1992, need I say more, right half back of the team, the Millennium. Congratulations and well done to Brian. Now we move to number 6, centre half back, Martin Gavigan. And I don't think I ever, on the tonight, have ever called him Rambo to his face. I'm not so sure how he'd react. Anyway, Rambo, as he was affectionately known, and I presume still is, Martin Gavigan, number 6 in the team of the Millennium. Eugene McGee and myself are paths would have crossed over the years through our work. And Eugene McGee would talk deeply and to the cows come home about Martin Gavigan and his wish that he would have had him as a county player when things were going well, even down in Offaly. He made him vice captain, I think, in 1990 when they went out to Australia, and he's one of the stars in that setup. But he's an Ulster Championship medal in 1990 and of course in 92, an All-Ireland medal in September 92, and duly followed by an All-Star award. Martin had difficulties, problem with a knee injury. I remember one time Jerome Quinn featuring the cage, and it literally was a cage that Martin Gavigan was prepared to wear in training simply because of the difficulties he had with that knee. I think Martin Gavigan, dedication, commitment and courage, all of that I think, and I hope you agree, I certainly do, make him a very worthy recipient of the honour of centre half back in the Donegal Democrat team of the Millennium. I didn't get a chance to speak to this man earlier, but I did my best to go around everybody else. Looking forward to meeting him. Left half back, Shannon Donald on the Millennium team. Give him a round of applause and I'll tell you a little bit about him. I think the first thing I have to say, and this was very evident when we were meeting as a group, Sean O'Donnell would question being picked at left half back, but that's the way the votes panned out. But certainly everybody on our committee and the readers of the Donegal Democrat were adamant by their votes that Sean O'Donnell was going to be on that team. I think in the centenary team he was a forward because obviously he played both as a defender and a forward. Sean O'Donnell's career is remarkable. 13 years from 1955 to 68. He missed only one championship game in that time. Loved by many, as I say, for his classic wing-back play. He played Railway Cup Ulster in 56 and 57, and with Donegal he played in 2 Ulster Championship finals. He has 3 Lagan Cup medals as well as a Dr. McKenna Cup medal. A Donegal club man, with them he won 2 Senior Championship medals and 3 Democrat Cup medals. He also won a Donegal Junior Championship medal with Ranafast. Much earlier in his career, but very worthy of mention, was the Leinster Senior Colleges medal won by Sean with Multi-Farnham College in 1953. And of course, after football, as you all know, came management. He took the Donegal Minors in 77 and 78, and he managed the senior side for 3 years, reaching the 1979 Ulster final. Our final defender for the Democrat Millennium team, Shannon Donald.
I hope somebody's keeping an eye on the time, but I think I'm doing okay so far. The big boys in the middle. Number 8, Anthony Malloy. I mean, they've won round them all year, and I think they're doing okay tonight as well. Well done to our drama and Anthony. He's now involved, of course, as I said, in giving something back to his club. But Andy quite literally been there, done that, and he has all the t-shirts. He is Ulster and All-Ireland under-21 medals. He's part of a very select group in Donegal with 3 senior championship medals, 83, and the 2 that you know about, of course. Captaining the side in 1990 and 1992. I think that's worth mentioning, of the many things you could say about Anthony Malloy. He played senior from 1982 to 1994 and would have played longer, but the knees said no in the end. An all-star, a real winner, he was for me before a vote was ever cast, an absolute cert for this team of the Millennium. Our first midfielder, would you please put your hands together for Anthony Malloy.
So it's big boys at the back. Anthony's going to be the first man standing in the back row. Well done to Anthony Malloy. We move to his midfield colleague on this team of the Millennium, Sean Ferter. A star midfielder in 1956 saw Sean captain Donegal to the first ever part of Brian McAniff's backroom team. Watching that whole setup and Brian McAniff and the various people involved, it always struck me in 1990 and 1992 the way that it operated on the sideline. Various things were said and done, but I always felt, obviously not being on the inside looking out, but I always felt that Sean Ferter, because of his experience, that he had maybe a calming influence. He had another view that I think is very, very important in any management structure. Certainly that would have been said to me by people post-1992. For 13 years, 1957 to 1970, you could call them the lean years, Sean was a constant at midfield for Donegal, never missing a championship game in that period. 3 years in a row, 63 to 65, he won Raven Cup medals. From St Michael's in Dunfanaghy, he also played football with Dunlow. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Ferter joins the elite, the Donegal Democrat team of the Millennium. Our second midfielder makes his way across. Right on the shot. We're up to the forward line, right half forward. Selected in that position to wear the number 10 on the Millennium team. I'd say he can still play a bit, no bother. Martin Carney. You know, when you're picking the Millennium team and you're going back through the years, I mean, quite rightly people would say to me, well, you were born in 1963, what would you know about the guys that played in the 40s and the 30s and whatever else? Totally accept that. That's why I was happy to let the readers of the Donegal Democrat do all the hard work in this one. But I can tell you, I talked earlier about boyhood heroes, and just bear with me. The beard, the bandana, the flowing locks, they're all the things that I remember when I think about Martin Carney.
up in the park, wearing the yellow jersey and the green togs. That was what was ingrained in my mind, standing on the sideline. I'll never forget the impression that he made on me. He was my George Best. Then, along with the long locks, there was substance and subtlety. Martin Carney, somebody said to me last night, the first player he saw, chip lifting a ball in the mud basement park. He did things that you went home and you talked about. Maybe not the points or the goals or whatever else. There was a lot of stuff going on that people talked about afterwards. Did you see what Carney did? Did you see the cut? Did you see what he was wearing? Did he ever come to his hair? But there was something about him that people talked about. You know, that's what I mean about somebody that you remember. He certainly made an impression on me. In a funny way, he's had two careers, 1971 to 78 with Donegal, and after that, 100 games for Mayo in a career that went on until 1989. He has Ulster medals from 72 and 74 and 4 Connacht Championship medals. There are other honours too, a Sigerson medal with combined universities, and he played as a 16-year-old in an All-Ireland Cup final for Joseph's, and he made his radio debut in 1990, co-commentating for Northwest Radio, alongside a very handsome, modest gentleman who also happens to be the sports editor of the Donegal Dinner Dance. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Boss for Martin Carney. Centre half forward on the Donegal GAA team of the millennium, Martin Mcgowan. Recent times in management. He's a former tech school player of the year. Amazingly, he didn't make the Donegal minor team, but he certainly made up for it post-haste. 10 points in the 1980 county final sent the Bush Telegraph into overdrive, and when the smoke signals drifted upwards and onwards, the Martin Mcgowan story had truly begun. Ulster and All-Ireland under-21 medals followed. Like his great friend Anthony Malloy, he has 3 Ulster Senior Championship medals, and he has 5 Railway Cup medals. In 1993, he was captain of an Ulster Railway Cup winning team. 4 Club Championship and 4 All-Ireland Gaelic medals. And apart from that, of course, as I said, a sojourn into Cavan country, winning an Ulster Championship title. And I can tell you, they still whisper his name softly in the Cavan Hills, wondering might they tempt him back. But we certainly hope not. Martin Mcgowan, centre half forward, Donegal team of the millennium. And one final point in relation to that team, and I think most people in this room would know it. Martin Mcgowan was the poll topper with over 700 votes in our team. Put your hands together again for Martin Mcgowan. Left half forward, wearing the number 12 on this team, Mickey Mcluhan from Shannon. Mickey Mcluhan, in a career shortened by injury, made a major impact at club, county and provincial level. Lieutenant Colonel Declan O'Carroll, last night, there was a Sports Stars function out in Finner Camp, and at one stage he turned around to me and he says, well, if you're talking about Mickey Mcluhan tomorrow night, he says, the one thing you can say that I would feel about him is that he didn't know which was his weaker foot. He didn't have one. He said he was lethal off left or right. And coming from his peer, his contemporary, I think that's better coming from him than somebody like me, and I couldn't agree more. And I think he was absolutely lethal. Somebody who walked in with maybe 3-2, as Declan said, as opposed to 7 points. It was always 2 goals or 3. That was the style of Mickey. July 29, 1963 may have been a memorable day in the Daly household. However, it wasn't quite so memorable for Donegal footballers at senior and minor level. The seniors defeated, and sadly so too, a minor team captained by one Michael Mcluhan. I was born that day, by the way. However, better fortune followed for Mickey with 3 Ulster under-21 titles, but in '66 defeat again, and this time at senior level, down the victors. He has 2 minor medals with Aoife and with Joseph's, Donegal, Ulster and All-Ireland club honours. A co-manager of successful Aoife side, He's pretty busy now as a manager in his own right. Of course, you know, he's a Donegal County Manager of County Council. Mickey Mcluhan, would you come forward and accept the applause of his audience? Well done and congratulations to Mickey. Left hand forward, we move now in to the full forward line. The second Gidor man that we'll honour tonight, number 13, Cutie Bug Gallagher, the late Cutie Bug. Over Christmas, as I counted the votes for this Millennium team, I was struck by the constant flow of votes for the man bearing the number in our team, 177. 177 was of course the number allocated in our list of 252 names for Cutie Bug. I was also worried because I think some people may have forgotten, in the first week of our Millennium team, due to an oversight on my part, Cutie Bug's name wasn't there. And for obvious reasons I was concerned that that might affect his vote. I had no need to worry. He had an emphatic vote based on 3 weeks as opposed to 4 for the right corner forward position. And I really think that that in itself merits a round of applause. It really was. From the views of those who saw him play, this is indeed the case. In 1942, he and Columba Mcgowan were on Ulster Railway Cup winning team, and a year later he was back again at the highest level. There were 7 county championship medals with Gidor, 2 of them in the 1930s. Selected on the best ever Donegal team in 1984, the centenary team as I call it, but it was known at the time as the best ever Donegal team. Cutie Bug also makes it onto the Millennium team, and I would like to call forward his wife Kitty, who is here tonight, to accept his award. Cutie Bug Gallagher. Now we move to our full forward. And full forward on the Millennium team, one of the players with an outstanding vote in this Millennium team at full forward, representing Dunlow, Tony Boyle. Tony Boyle, of course, as you all know, I suppose in a sense will hold a unique distinction in that he's still obviously playing football for the county, and we look forward to his best efforts with Mickey Moore and all the team in 2001. But essentially Tony Boyle is the baby of this team, and I would suggest some baby. At 19, he put the fear of God in a man who had never known fear. I worked for a year in the Meat Weekender, and I happened to become fairly friendly with Mick Lyons. And Mick Lyons told me about 6 months later that Tony Boyle's pace and power for a 19-year-old, he said, it caused him problems he says he had never experienced before. He also said that he did his best to throw an odd shot into him. He says, the more I hit him, the better he got. I can't but recall his introduction to the cauldron that was Clones in '92. For some reason, I remember how he slid, I think it was down the far side, close to the touchline, slid to a ball and won it, a ball that was gone, and got it back and got into play, and I think we got a score from that. And I remember thinking, looking at him, I said, this guy's going to be good. There are many memories, you all have them, his ability to slide low, win the ball, gain his feet, turn, eat 4 sandwiches, order a pint of milk, go out and milk the cows and score a pint. Didn't do quite all of that, but this guy could literally, in the twinkling of an eye, win a ball, turn and score. He really is, to me, one of the great full forwards, and I think no more than appropriate that Tony Boyle should be full forward and the team's been down. Well done, congratulations to Tony Boyle, our full forward. Another Boyle, Kelly Beggs, as I said earlier, Barry Mcgowan on the team.
Now we'll be calling forward Manus Boyle. Left corner forward, on this team he has chalked up many milestones, an Ulster Club minor title, an All-Ireland Vocational Schools title, and an 87 Ulster and All-Ireland Under 21 medals. I think a man with few if any nerves when striking a free. He walked away with the Man of the Match award in the All-Ireland final of '92, scoring 9 points, if memory serves me correctly. Was it 4 from play or 5? I can't remember, one or the other, but 9 points in the All-Ireland final. Doesn't matter how you get them, it's pretty special scoring. And as I said, Manus Boyle was man of the match in that game. Like Barry Mcgowan, an essential element in ensuring Killybegs' many club successes. Manus is still going strong and continues to provide the bulk of scores for Killybegs. And I said there's another year or two, and I'm looking at him earlier on as he was giving me guff coming in the door, but we'll find out more about that later. Another finisher, Manus was always quite clear what his job was, and I recall him telling me one day that a corner forward who doesn't score consistently won't be a corner forward for very, very long. And that's true, that's the way it works. And nobody knew that better than Manus Boyle. Give him the ball, let him get the ball, get the score. He's done it all his life. He did it in the All-Ireland final, did it with Killybegs and with Donegal. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the final member of our team, the last piece in the jigsaw puzzle. Would you put your hands together, please, for Manus Boyle? Well done, Manus.
I thank you for your attention and your patience. I hope I was as quick as I possibly could be, but I really do think on an occasion like this that these players deserve the comment and the resume that they got. Thank you again for your attention, and well done to the Donegal Democrat team of the Millennium.
Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't very finished. And just like before the lads go, congratulations to all. Very well done, some days, and a lot of everything there in the team. Excellent match. A bit of quiet, please. We're just 5 or 10 minutes to go. Been very good so far. We can just clear the stage now and make our way. We can clear the stage, lads. We can remember us after a while if you don't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, with a bit of quiet please, I'd now like to ask our special guest tonight, the youth from Mcluhan Cascade, Shannon King, to address you.
I hear that speak. I hear that for you on it. It's a Bishop of the Conlon. For the militia, specialta, agus Rogarje, agus Portland, Charlie enough. Kushawstom, Believe, Bob Wickish, and Bishop Conde, as often heard them here, agus Bernie Believe. Is he a brother, Donald Marco, is he a star of specialty shop, the Harrodas, the Dini, or Starship, the Himmerori, the Dini is top, the W Cascade. The Commander Road Shift, the Shannon Worth, take him shit, the running of Shannon Worth at the town, passport, Obuya John, what is found on my township on Lukushiniana. So I'll be very brief. I'm delighted to be present to congratulate the winners of all the recipients of the Millennium Team. I also want to endorse what has been said previously in relation to the words of congratulation to all the recipients of all the awards earlier. It certainly is a pleasure to see that the County Committee rewarding excellence at home and abroad, and while I know some of the recipients personally, some of them I don't, and obviously in true Donegal spirit, your recognition of the work being done by people like Paddy Burke abroad and for the Donegal people everywhere throughout the world, who are quite happy to look in and tune in on the internet to see how their clubs and the county team are doing wherever they may be around the globe. I want to applaud the County Committee for recognising the great work that Donegal people do everywhere. Briefly, I could say two words and sit down. I want to say thanks to the County Committee for all that they do. I want to congratulate all the people who received awards, and I want to sincerely thank those members of Donegal, those numerous Donegal people who are assisting me on committees in Croke Park, who are working diligently to ensure that our association is at the forefront of activity. I thank the Donegal Democrat also. Local media plays a vital role in the promotion of our games, and there are very few that do it better than the Donegal Democrat. I thank Michael Daly as sports senator, and I think that you could really feel his enthusiasm for our games, and naturally, being a Daly, that's what one expects. But I thank him and his paper for the great coverage they give all sport, and particularly our sport, and it's a matter that is of great importance to me. I'm not going to comment on the selection. It's an old saying in the Chosen Gaelic games is pick a team and lose a friend. So I had the good fortune to see all these fellas play except one. I didn't see Fury Big, he was before my time, but I had the good fortune of seeing all the other 14. And it really is a pleasure to recall some of the great moments that I remember in their games. I suppose like all teams, there are characters and there are people. I'll tell you a brief story told to me, and I know that Kathleen, Hughie Tim's wife, would maybe remember this story as told to me by Hughie himself. Hughie and Gunnar Brady were great friends. They played in the full back line together for Ulster. And on one occasion when Hughie was driving from Dublin to Donegal, coming through Castle Blaney, and the long journey that it is, he found it necessary to go to the loo. And he stopped his car on the corner at the end of the town, double parked, couldn't wait any longer, was going into the local pub and heard two Gardaí who were coming in the footpath shout, "Hey you, are you going to abandon that car there?" And when the two Gardaí got closer, Hughie recognised that one of them was Gunnar Brady, and Gunnar at the same time recognised it was Hughie. Got Hughie, he said, "I'm sorry," he said, "I didn't realise it was you. Where are you going?" He said, "I'm only going in," he says, "for a moment to go to the toilet." "You'll have a drink?" Gunnar says. "Right, I'll have one." So the two boys went in the pub, and the young guard was along with the Gunnar, was following them in, and Gunnar turned and he said to the young guard, "Where are you going?" He says, "Stay out there and mind that effing car." The other players of the team, I won't question the selection. There are two that I would be doubtful about. In Brian McNiff's case, I question his legality. He has played illegally so often, so many places that, as one who is entrusted now with upholding the rule book, I would have to say that I couldn't put him on the team. And one of the others there, Porrick McShay, he's a rogue and a scoundrel. I like people rogue and I like people scoundrel, but a rogue and a scoundrel nonetheless. So there's two vacant places already. The rest I'll endorse. I conclude you've been very patient. I'm not going to give you the woes of the GAA and tell you all the problems we have or don't have. I want to wish you all well the coming year. Your county team is in good hands with Mickey Moore. You have the best coach in the country. I have no doubt that the players who respond to Mickey's promptings, Donegal are not going to be far away from give out the honours this year. I wish him and I wish the team well. I wish all of you people the health and happiness that the new year will bring to you. And I sincerely hope that you get the satisfaction from our games that you've got in the past. And all of you who are working diligently at club level, I'll ask you to continue to do that in the hope that you too will have a very satisfactory year. As
before we leave the Millennium team, I would now like to ask Martin Mcgowan to say a few words on behalf of the team.
First of all, I think the reason I asked me up here is because I got the most votes or something, but I think the post office in Kilcar was very busy for a few weeks, so that's why. Just your lordship, special guests. First of all, I'm honoured myself to be here along with such great footballers that graced for Donegal down through the years. We all know about millennium teams and all that, and you know the chat tonight is even talking about the team and everything else. But it's great to be here on the stage with such great players and great people that have represented the county well. And the one thing that came to me when I see people coming up and chatting to people about Gaelic football is the talent that everywhere you go in the country you hear about the talent that Donegal is able to produce. And that's great. And I think that it's important that we keep producing that talent. And you know, going back to anything we ever won and anything else, we won it right and we won it well. And videos or anything else can be shown of Donegal games going back as long as we like to go back of the way they played their football. And I think that's important to kids and everything else. And it's great, and we'll keep doing that, and we'll keep producing that talent. And we'll see every club in the county represented here today. And the only one thing I'd say to Shannon McCaig, and that is it's important now with the new structures in the championship and everything else that we don't forget our clubs. I think that's very, very important. That's where we start and that's where we finish, as we all know. And I think it's very, very important that we remember and set up, and I feel that it has to come from Crow Park, to set up club structures and the fixtures, and that we get that right so that we know exactly when we're playing every day. To finish off, I think it's very, very important when we see here the people on the stage tonight that we think of the two people that are missing, and it's great to see their two wives here, and it's great to see so many people from the GAA club here and their families and all, and they're all both looking down at us, and you know, it's great. And I hadn't the privilege of seeing them, but as we know from listening to other speakers how great footballers they were, and it's great to have you here with us. Supposed to finish off with Millennium teams, as I said, we'll have discussions and everything else, and it's hard to know. There's been nobody here for 100 years to say that they saw every footballer playing in Donegal, and all I'll say is that we're here and we're going to enjoy it, and the night has been great, and enjoy the rest of the night, and thank you very much. Thank you.
The last word from the Millennium team, lads. Training Drumbo Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, and we expect to see us all there. We're coming near the end of the presentations. Just a few notes here, but I'd like to wish a very speedy recovery to Alan Kane, one of the people who was nominated for the Millennium team. Alan Kane, as you know, played in goal for Donegal for a number of years. Alan has been seriously ill for a while now, and we wish a speedy recovery on behalf of everyone here and all the Gaels of Donegal. Two apologies here. I forgot to mention earlier on. An apology from the Minister for Sport and Tourism, James Mcluhan, who intended being here, but unfortunately, due to an illness in the family, can't make it. And also to Bishop Mahaffey, and we'd like to thank him for sending all their apologies. We have one more job to do, and that is, as you know, most of you know, we have a Millennium Draw going on to raise finances for our county teams. And on that part, I'd like to welcome Mcgowan and his wife Rita here, County Manager, and we wish him the best of luck in the new year. Tonight we have our first prize. The draw has been on there for 6 months, as you know, it's £10 a month. And tonight's first prize is a rental Mcgowan car, so we're going to make the draw now. I'd like to ask Anthony Mcluhan to draw the first ticket. The winner of the rental Mcgowan is a great Gael himself, Michael Mcgowan, Sandhill, Dunfanaghy, County Donegal. The second prize is £1,000. I'd ask Seamus Hoare to draw out that, if you don't mind, Seamus. Winner of £1,000, this man needs it badly. A very good sponsor of the association, sponsor of golf casting every year. James Likely, Shannon. Winners of the five prizes are Betty McIntyre, the Mano Valley Shannon. This man deserves the world prize. Paul Duncan, Valley Delago, Donegal Town, honoured by the Tom Feeney, Lord Killops for Cara. Mary Tiernan, Marion Villas, Donegal Town. Seamus Gallagher's Garage, Valentine. That's all of us. We one more prize, that's the seller's prize, where we draw the ticket and the seller wins a weekend away for 2 at one of Ice hotels. So I'd ask Mickey to draw out that prize, please. The seller's prize weekend for 2 is a man that's over the thanks for us over in New York, Donegal Gallagher, Donegal New York Chase. Well, I think that's wraps it up, folks. I want to thank you for being so patient. We will be having a raffle later on with the proceeds going towards our School of Excellence squads and development teams. The prize will be, we have 2 footballs autographed by the Millennium team. We also have 2 county jerseys, new county jerseys, which we see on my left here, and a number of other Donegal tracksuit tops, polo shirts and so on. So we'd actually support that later on if you get a chance. My last job now is to ask your Lordship, Dr. Philip Boyd, to take this after meetings. And before I do that, I just want to thank him on everyone's behalf. As you may or may not know, His Lordship presented the county with a new Dr. Mcguire Cup this year, and we were delighted with it. So I want to thank him sincerely for that, for doing that.
Tug much bia that the Giana something about to show how to do and to reach that Giana, amen, and then the Manas and makes instead of